everybody, it's Miss Toth here. So we've already done 4 lessons on money. We talked about nickels, dimes, quarters, and how we count mixed sets and what their values are, what the names of the coins are. So now we're going to go into this bad boy right here. Here's my buddy, the loonie. The loonie is worth $1. So the reason why we know it's worth $1 is because, remember, it's written right there. So the loonie has a picture of a loon on it. I want to talk for a minute about how we write down $1. So if I'm talking about the loonie, we can write it as, we can write it this way. $1. We can write it this way. $1. We can write it this way. 100 cents. Or we can write it this way. 100 cents or 100 pennies. We don't have pennies anymore though. But remember, 100 cents means 100 pennies, right? So we can write it that way as well. But we can represent the value of $1 in lots of different ways. So I'm going to erase my board so it's nice and blank again. And I'm going to put it down on the desk right here so you can take a look. So there's my $1 right here. Excuse me. So there's $1. And I can represent this $1 as, of course, this way. See if I can write it backwards. There it is, as $1. Or I can represent it lots of other different ways. I can represent it as 25 cents plus 25 cents is 50 cents. Plus another 25 cents is now 75 cents. Plus another 25 cents is now $1. So if you remember last week we were skip counting by 25, 25, 25, 25, 25 cents. 25, 50, 75, 100. Or 100 cents. Or, oopsies, I don't know if you can see that, or $1. Okay, so when we talk about the value of 25 cents, it can be written out as 25 cents, or we can write it as this way, with this decimal here. Okay, I hope we can see that. Yes, we can. Good. Okay, so there's different ways that we can represent this. So there's that way, there is this way. We can also represent it another way. We can represent it with all of our dimes. So we need to have 10 dimes to make this. And we looked at this last week by taking a look at the hundreds chart and saying 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. 100 cents or $1 that way. Okay, so we can also represent our loonie with this guy right here, our friend the nickel. So last week I told you I was looking for more nickels around the house to try to find, and I haven't been able to find any because people aren't really using coins right now with the way everything's happening with COVID-19. So whatever I have in the house, this is just what we're going to have to use right now. But maybe in your house, one of your challenges this week is to figure out how many nickels you need to make $1. Once again, if you remember from last week, what we did is we took our hundreds chart, and remember you have a hundreds chart on the website that you can print out. So there's 5 cents, 10 cents, 15, 20. How many nickels do you need to get to $1? So that could be a challenge you can come up with. Some of you might already know that answer. So here's the value of $1. So I'm going to move these over for a minute and I'm going to erase my board. Okay, in grade 2, you need to know how many different ways you can make this loonie. So we've talked about the very easy ways of doing this with the same set of coin. So we know that we need 4 quarters to make $1. We know that we need 10 dimes to make $1, and I've given you a challenge where you might have already figured out how many nickels that you need to make $1. Those are the same sets of coins. Now, if I were to open up my wallet right now and shake out all of my coins, they're all going to be different. If you go into your piggy bank and you shake out all of your coins, they're all different. You do not have all of the same coins collected. One of the activities I've been asking you to do for the past few weeks is to go through your change, sort them, count them, play around with them, figure out how much you have. Do you have more pennies? Do you have any pennies? Do you have nickels? Do you have dimes? How many more coins do you have? I have 10 dimes. I have 6 quarters. So you have more dimes than you have quarters. But how much money are dimes compared to the quarters? Figure that out. Count them out. Work with your family on this. Okay, back to what we're talking about here. When I am doing values of loonies, my money is going to be so different. I'm going to have lots of different types. So I want you to pay attention to how we're going to figure out how to make $1 using lots of different coins. So I'm going to start off with 25 cents and that one. And I'm going to do some more of this. Let's see what I have. I don't know. I just grabbed a bunch and I dumped them. So let's imagine my goal is to make $1. The ice cream man comes to town. He wants $1. I need to figure out if I have enough money for this. Okay, I'm going to start by sorting my coins, just like what we talked about last week. Sort them into same set groups. So remember, if you want to, you can flip over the coins so you're looking at the pictures, or you can flip them around and just look at beautiful Queen Elizabeth, and we can always sort them by size too. Okay, can everybody see that? I don't know how much money I have. I grabbed and dumped. So what I've done is I've got these here. I'm going to start by counting, for me, the bigger number. So I'm going to say 25 cents, and another 25 is 50 cents. Now that I have 50 in my mind, I'm going to then count on by skip counting by 10, because that's easier for me. So I'm going to say 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Notice how I'm moving the coins as I count so I don't get distracted. 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and then I can move on to my nickels. 90, nickels are now counting by fives, so we're going to count by fives. 90, hold 90 in your head. 95, $1. And I have more money left over. Let's see what I have. So I have $1, 95, 100, or $1, $1 5 cents, $1 10 cents, $1 15 cents. Do I have enough money to buy something from the ice cream truck that comes to town? Yes, I do. Yay, 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 yay. Okay. Now, dumping the money again, watching. You might have remembered last week I started counting by fives because I can count by fives really well. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. If we are having a hard time, some of us have a hard time, especially when we're counting this coin and then mixing this. What I want you to do is take your money down, put it on a piece of paper, and start to draw those Queen Elizabeth hairstyles that we talked about last week. Okay, so let's imagine I have this. And I dump out my change. Oh, that's kind of, let me see. And I dump out my change right here. And I don't know what I have. But I've sorted them into same set groups because I know that's important to help me. And I'm going to just draw my hair on my Queen Elizabeth coins. And I know this is worth 5 cents, it gets 1 hair. This one's 5 cents, it gets 1 hair. This is a dime, 5, 10. Dime, 5, 10. This is 25 cents. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. This is for all of my friends that might have a hard time counting mix sets. So start by doing this. Here we go. Now that I've got all my hair drawn on top of my coins, I can start counting by fives. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80. I have 80 cents. I have 80 cents. Two different ways to write that number. Okay, so not quite $1, but I am pretty close. So that's a one way to count. Keep practicing counting by fives. When you get better at this, you don't need to draw the hair anymore. Watch what happens. You're just going to remember. Eventually, you'll just remember that 25 cents and 25 cents are just going to equal 50. What I want you to do with your family, especially with these ones, bloop, move that over, with these ones here. See these? This is the money. Scarlett knows. If you want to go to the grocery store in a little bit of time and you want to buy some candy from the vending machine, the 25 cents is what you would want to have if the vending machines were open. Having 4 of these quarters is excellent because that is $1. Please, kids, if you're still not sure about this, this is what I want you to work at. Okay, so anytime you're adding mixed sets of coins to get to that $1, I want you to remember, first start by sorting the coins. Oops. Okay, so here's all my money, even my loonie. I'm going to throw it in the corner and I'm going to start sorting them. Here's my 25 cents. Start practicing by sorting these coins first. Okay, sort them. Once you've sorted them, it's going to make it so much easier to figure out. I know this is $1. I'm going to start by counting that one first. I'm going to say $1. And then after that, I like to count by tens first, but you might want to draw the hair. Your choice. So I'm going to say $1, $1.10, $1.20, $1.30, $1.40, $1. Now I'm on to 5, so then I move on. $1.45, $1.50, 50 cents. Oh, if I have 50 cents in my head right now, I can then just go 50 cents, 75 cents, $1. Now I have $1, $2.25. So if I were to write this out, I would say $2.25. And that's how we write that. Or you can write 225 cents. And that's what you have. Okay, we're going to pause this for the next lesson. I hope that made some sense. What I want you to remember here, kids, is this. If counting by 25 cents is still challenging for you, practice it. If counting those mixed sets, the 5 cents, the nickels, then the 10 cents, the dimes, and mixing those together with some of those quarters is hard, draw those hairs on top of Queen Elizabeth. Start by counting 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, all the way up until you can get to the money up to $1. When you feel like you've mastered that with the hair, take the hair out and start counting by tens and by fives, mixing them up together, and then adding those 25 cents, counting by 25s. This is why it's so important to learn how to skip count. Counting with money, and then of course counting with multiplication, which was what we're going to be learning about next week. Okay, once you get this down and you feel great about it, you can challenge your parents and say, hey, mom and dad, I know how to count change. If I count all the pile of money you put in my hand, can I keep it? See what happens.